Welcome to the Labyrinth. My guest today is Prajwal Shetty. He is an entrepreneur and he runs multiple businesses in Mangalore. He's a recipient of Times Business Award. Prajwal, welcome to the Labyrinth.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Pratham, for the invitation.
So, how are you? How is your day going?
All good, brother. All
Okay.
good.
Let's talk about your businesses because you have multiple businesses. How do you manage so many businesses at the same time? Does it ever become stressful?
Stressful, yeah, kind of. But thing is, see, a lot of the people ask me the same question. Thing is, this becomes a habit with the experience. See, when I started my business, when I came in entered business in 2010, so we were only into inverters and batteries, and it took a while for me to jump to another business. In 2012, we started solar, and after 3 years, we started. Me and my wife, we started jewelry business, and then we took a while. After 4 years, we started our balcony garden. In between, we started poultry, and then now OBG farm. So if you see the pattern, I have taken at least 2 to 3 years of gap to start another new business, and I do that only when I feel that the previous company which was formed, it goes in auto run mode. At least 50% of the business goes on auto run mode. So yes, it is stressful, no doubt. Uh, when I be stressful, a couple of things. What I do is I love driving, so I go for a drive. I see to it that I meet my families, my sister, my niece and nephew. Those are my stress busters. I see to it at least weekly once I do meet them. And managing about business. A couple of things which I have a habit right from day one is whenever I get up in the morning, first thing what I do is I write down things. What are the things has to be done every day? So what are the plan? What is the plan for a day? What are the plan for the month? What are the things I need to accomplish for a year? So these are the things I have made it a practice. It is not that from it was very tough for me to calculate these practice, but now it has become a habit for me. So every day I see to it that I do write down things. What are the things has to be done for a day and for a month?
Yes. How important do you think planning is in business?
Yeah, planning is the most important part. If someone doesn't know what planning is, I think uh, they are not fit enough to be in a business. Having said that, it is not something that you cannot change. If you are unplanned person, it is not that you cannot enter into a business. You can change yourself. See, wherever you go, if you want to catch a bus, if you want to go to Udupi, if you want to sit in a bus, you need to plan yourself how you need to go to Udupi. You need to take a rickshaw from here to the bus stand, and then from there you need to tell the conductor that you need to go to Udupi. You just can't go randomly to Udupi without a planning. So planning is the most important thing, and this is the most important thing for any business to be successful. So even for that matter, if I tell you frankly, I was not a organized guy when I started, but then this has become a practice. When this has become a habit for me, and now because once you do things repeatedly, day in and day out, things it becomes a habit for you. So this is not something which you cannot change, and it doesn't mean that if you are an unplanned person, you are not fit to be a business. You can change yourself, but it is the most important integral part of any business to start, for any businessman,
Mm.
not only in businessman, in your professional personal life as well.
Correct. Absolutely. Otherwise, instead of going to Udupi, you'll end up going to Puttur or some other place.
Exactly, yeah, you need to be focused, and you need to know where you're going, where you're landing, where you want to go, and what time you'll be reaching. So all those things, all those planning has to be done.
So, what was your first step in business?
First step.
Yes.
Yeah, my first step, when I started my business, I still remember I had when my dad was there, I should talk to him and tell him, uh people don't know me in Mangalore. All those people are hardly a handful of people. So people don't know me in Mangalore. and people know me as Prajwal Shetty, Prabhakar Shetty's son. So I used to always tell my dad about it and tell him, how do I, people know me as your son. So he always used to tell me, the day, right from day one, you start building your network. Um, this is the first step of any businessman. You need to build those connections. You need to build those network. You need to have that base. I'm not saying that you need to focus them as a customer. You need to build that network. It will be helpful one way or the other. I'm not saying that they are going to buy your product only. So they might be a good friend, a helping friend for you. They might be a person who can educate you about the business. They can be a person who can help you in the business. They can give you new ideas. They can give you new ideas to explore things. So you need to build those connections. This was my first step. When I started my business. Now it took a while for me. Almost 3 to 4 years. It took from 2010 to 2014. But this is something which I told my wife also when she started her business. I don't want anyone to tell that you are Prajwal Shetty's wife. I want people to know you as Purnima Shetty. So this is what our dad has taught me and which I have been telling it to most of the people. So connections and network is the most important thing for anyone in business today.
Absolutely. And what was your first business?
Yeah, I joined my dad, which was into inverters and batteries. We used to supply inverters and batteries, and then in 2012, I started solar batteries and solar water heaters, solar rooftop. So this was something which was very booming in 2012. Not many people knew what was solar, what is solar rooftop, how do you produce electricity. So this is something which was interesting for me. And then back of the mind, right from my childhood, I have seen my dad be in this battery industries. I know right from my early days, I used to always think, because we burn a lot of lead oxide, all these things. So I always used to think, no, I need to do something for the environment. I need to get back to get into a field where I'm contributing to environment, for the betterment for the environment. So this was something which was very interesting for me, solar industries, because you are actually using the unlimited solar energy for your use, and you are going to stop using your electricity and use solar. So I started educating people. I started promoting these products. So this is my first product of my own. I mean, this is my own baby, which I can say. Batteries and inverters and was always there, and it's always been a close to my heart. But solar is my first baby, which I started in 2012. That's my first product.
And now you have many babies.
Now we have 6 brands under the same. So.
Okay, and you are very much interested in environment. That's why you moved to solar. You also have started another environmental friendly business, which is Our Balcony Garden. What was the idea behind that business?
Yeah, of course, that again came to us in 2017-18, when me and my wife wanted to do something, because by then she was completely into a artificial jewelry business, LOL Studio. So then, we were thinking we wanted to start something, to contribute something for the environment, to society. So she wanted to become a blogger, to educate people, know how to start doing, making your balcony thing. So then I told her, instead of becoming a blogger, because blogging, it's a very difficult task nowadays. It takes a lot of time for you to get those audience. So then we decided to build a brand for ourselves first, Our Balcony Garden, because the whole idea started from our balcony when we were having a chit chat in a balcony. And she has a hobby of decorating a balcony, making that balcony very green. So that's how we named it as Our Balcony Garden. And that's how we wanted everyone to be see, everyone talks about planting a tree, but hardly 10 to 15% does it outside. So what we say is, you start doing it in your own balcony, start doing it in your own house where you're living, in your surroundings. Keep your surroundings green and clean. Be in an environment where it is very clean and very greenery around. So that is what we educate people now. That's how we have started our journey, and that's how this has been all this while.
Hmm. And nowadays in urban areas, in cities, a lot of people are obsessed with organic growing, organic eating, and healthy lifestyle. How easy or how difficult would it be for a city dweller to grow their own vegetables?
See, I don't think so. It's much difficult for anyone to grow veggies, because there are certain vegetables which can be grown in a balcony. I mean, when people say it is organic, or people say healthy things or growing things which you want to eat, people think of big paddy fields or big fields where they want to grow and all those stuffs. So that's not a case. You can actually start growing in your small 10 by 10 balcony uh, some vegetables which you can actually consume. So these are the things which we have been guiding all our customers. And this recently, two months back, we have just started another brand called OBG Farms. So this was again an initiative by us, where 2 years back when we started, wanted to make a Mangalore green. So then we wanted to make a Mangalorean healthy as well. So how do you make them healthy? Is make them eat healthy food. So in 2018, when I was in Hyderabad, I happened to visit one of a farm, which is a hydroponic farm, which is a fantastic concept, where the vegetables are grown only on waters. Okay, we don't use any soil, because and since we are growing only on water, there's no usage of pesticides on anything on that. So then we started working on this, because we wanted to do something hatke in the market. So we thought, let's give it a try, because no one in Mangalore or in this Dakshin Kannada have ever tried this hydroponic farm. Then it took a while for us, 3 years. We attended a lot of online course. Thanks to pandemic, we had some good time to learn about this subject in 1.5 2 years. And then that's why recently we have started. So now that we have started, we have understood, we are doing, it's a very interesting subject where every day it's a learning. So we are learning, next 6 months, we are going to promote it, and we are going to tell the farmers how you can transform, or how you can convert your land into a hydroponic land. Because the most important thing in hydroponic is, you are using water, of course, but you are using only 10% of water what you would have used in a traditional way of farming. I mean, in the sense, for example, if in a traditional farming, if someone is using 1000 liters of water, in hydroponic we are using only 100 liters of water. So there's a lot of scarcity of water, right? So this is a very important thing, where if everyone, all the farmers does, it would be a very good thing for our environment. And plus, you don't have to, don't need an acre of land. If some vegetables which can be grown in 1 acre of land, you can grow the same amount of vegetables in half an acre of land. So directly you're going to save 50% of your land. Labor is very less, since it is all automated. And most important thing, you're not going to use, since you're not using the soil, of course, you're not going to treat the soil anyway. So that you are not going to use any pesticides and any residue. So these are all pesticides and residue-free products. So this is after 6 months, we're gonna educate the farmers, motivate, tell people to get into this urban, new way of farming.
Okay, that's very interesting. It also sounds very environmental friendly and good investment as well.
Yeah. And
And
trust me, of all the business I have done, this is the most satisfying business one can have, is farming. Being in midst of all the plants, seeing them grow literally from day one, like your babies.
yes, really. And you said that you put your leg in this business during the pandemic. A lot of people had a lot of time during the pandemic. Did you discover something about yourself during this pandemic?
Yes. Most important thing, what I have discovered is, irrespective of what you do, what you are, how much business you have, how much money you have, how much wealth you have. Most important thing, take care of yourself. Its most important thing is this body which you are living in. So this is the most important thing which I have discovered in this pandemic time. Give time to yourself, give time to your family. Think about yourself, think what your body needs, listen to your body. Start meditating. I have started meditating in this last 1.5 2 years. I've just started it. Many times I have given a try, but I have never done it. But then this has become a habit now. Because I used to travel a lot. I used to I travel a lot, so it was very difficult for me to give time for myself, for my family. But in this pandemic time, this is something which I have discovered, which is something which I thought this is the most important thing and a priority thing in life. Because what is there in you, it no, that's most important thing in your life.
Absolutely. And can you tell us what exactly is BNI?
Yeah, BNI is the organization which we started in Bangalore around 3 years back. It is called Business Network International. So where a group of businessmen or entrepreneurs, they come together on a particular day where we meet on Tuesdays. So we meet on Tuesdays and we discuss about each other's projects. We educate about each other's projects, about our company, about our products, about the services, what we deal. So it is like you are helping each other grow. So if I'm a member, I help, we are around 200 members in Bangalore. So we help each other grow. Like I promote their product as well. If you see my status or if you see my stories and all, I promote a lot of things from other companies as well. So I promote their product in my contact sphere as well. So they do the same thing in their contact sphere. So and everything is measured in BNI. And of course, we don't take any commission for any business closed by them. So it is just a wonderful and a simple philosophy called as a giver's gain, where you tend to give to people, you tend to help people, you tend to motivate people, you tend to encourage people. I have met some, apart from a business in BNI, I have met some amazing friends in BNI. Like they're like my close buddies right now. So it's been a great organization for me in terms of learning, in terms of again making some good connections, in terms of making some good friends, of course, making some good money.
Of course. And what is your advice for upcoming entrepreneurs?
Upcoming upcoming entrepreneurs, first thing is I would like to tell them is see, you need to dream big. Okay, but while doing so, if you want to go to A to B, okay, you need to be dream about this. But during this journey, you need to have at least those small goals. Don't have that big goals or big dream. Yes, that thing is required. But when you have these small goals, and when you accomplish these goals, you tend to get more confident. Things will motivate you, and things will encourage you to go to that next things to encourage you to go faster in your life. Because if now, as I said, if you want to go to A to B, and if there are five, if you have broken down into if you have broken down that dream into 10 small goals, if you have taken 2 years to reach that second goal, in the second year you'll be reaching at least that fifth goal. So your journey will become faster. So when you measure your goal, when you achieve those goals, when you tend to be more confident about yourself, you tend to be grow more faster in your journey. And one more important thing is, don't worry about. A lot of people say that no, if you are good looking or smart, or if you're good in conveying, I mean, in English, you tend to become a businessman. That's I feel language is not at all a barrier for become a businessman. I myself, I was never a good speaker. I'm still not. I fumble a lot whenever I speak, but that doesn't matter. No, that doesn't matter at all. What matters is how hard you work, how focused you are, what you are, how sincere you are. No, how sincere you are to your business, how ethical you are in your business. All these things does matter. And whenever you start a business, have the thing mentally prepared that you're gonna fail. you're gonna fail, and you're gonna struggle for the next 1,000 days. This is a most important thing where I tell this. I have learned from my boss when I was working in Pune, and he has always told me, Pajul, whenever you start your business, see to it that it crosses 1,000 days, because in that 1,000 days you're gonna face a lot of challenges. You're gonna fall a lot. You're gonna face a lot of troubles. But all these failures will make you successful. No, I have you must have heard about that wonderful saying that failures is not about when you fall. It is about when you fall and you decide to stay there, and you don't get up. That's failure. In my early days, initial days when I started business, I still remember first 10 first 4 years was like, no, it was like so bad. My sister used to pay my EMIs. My sister used to pay my car EMIs. My brother from Dubai, he used to send money for my employee salaries. My friends, I used to ask my friends, to help me financially. I used to ask my uncles. So it was so bad, but that didn't stop me, going on. So what I say, all my all upcoming startups or all those entrepreneurs who just started, you have to be mentally prepared that you're gonna fail, but you tend to learn with the experience. You tend to learn with your mistakes, and of course you don't have to do all the mistakes in your life. No, it's your life is so short that you don't have to do all your mistakes and then learn. You can learn from others mistakes as well. So that is why this networking, meeting people, having this network is most important thing. It is not only about selling your product to that network. It is always about learning from them. How did they succeed? How did what are their journeys? What are their failures? How did they come out from their failures? So all these things. That's why the most important part, first I said, is building your network is the most important part in your this thing whenever you start a business.
Yes, of course. And in the past 2 years, we've had lockdowns, multiple lockdowns. Is this a good time to start a business in Mangalore?
See, I would say any day is a good time to start a business, provided that know how at what scale you want to. If OBG farms, I wanted to do something. This OBG farms, which we had right now, which we started. This I wanted to start in an acre of land. No, because of this pandemic, I have not taken that step. I have taken no. I've just started in 20 since then. So it's always a opportunity for you to start. Of course, it depends on the product to product. No, now that in pandemic, if like if you're going to start school or education, it's not the right time for you to start. It was not a right time to start. But there are a lot of products you need to focus. You need to spot this opportunity in whatever challenges, in whatever situation you are. You need to spot this opportunity, which are the things which might be a future, and always go with the trend where if this is not a product, if this product is not doing good now, but if you are confident that this product is going to be a future, you need to concentrate on those product right now.
Do you are there any products that are doing very well right now?
Yeah, there are a lot of organic things. There are in organic itself. There are a lot of things which people can try. We have something in EV. We have solar is a wonderful field as well. We have, in fact, uh, anything which you can eat is a wonderful product, because this people are not going to stop anyway, because that's why I'm into poultry as well. People are not going to stop eating chicken or eggs, and so you need to focus on, you need to study a lot on this subject. And it is not that if you are into one reading the subject, or if you have learned something, I'll tell you, there are a lot of things. There are 2-3 products which many of them don't know about. Unique Power is, we have launched a company called Unique Flames, which was into chimneys, hobs, and gases, and which was a disaster, and which was a failure, and not many people know about it. And we have started something called Unique Aqua, which was into this RO water purifier, which was a disaster, which was a failure. So it is not that the first product what you do, it will be a super hit. No, you need to keep on doing. That's what I said. When you have this when you fail and then you decide to get up is when you start, your journey. It is not when you fail and then you just sit there and say, no, this is not my cup of tea. I am not going to into business. I'm going to switch to my old job.
Correct. Despite few failures, you're still standing strong and you're still innovating.
I lost most of my hairs.
So even I'm losing. I think we'll all lose. So you are also into poultry business. Why you also got into this poultry business, and what is the process of that?
See, poultry, I did my engineering in NITTE. After my engineering in MBA, I started my journey in poultry business. Not many people know. I was working in Pune. I joined a company called Lubing, which is into poultry equipment. So I had a very vast experience of 4.5 years of experience in this line, poultry. And I knew I have made some amazing connections in this process, because I was into sales. I had some amazing time to, make some good connections. I have, traveled a lot in this company in India and made some amazing connects. So when this opportunity came for me in 2015, when the company said, "Why don't you take distribution? We are planning to give a distribution in South India." So that is the when I have, in fact, that came in 2014. But 2014, as I said, unless and until I feel that my previous company, I feel that it is going on auto mode, and at least 50% of it is going on auto mode. I don't go to the next, company. So it took for me almost 1 year to, decide. And then in 2015, I decided to take the distribution of poultry equipment. So what we do is, we automate the farms. So wherever there is a farm, poultry farm, we do automation. Like if there are some 10 labors to be used in that farm, we automate everything so that a farmer can use that whole setup with only 1 or 2 labors. So may it be automated drinking system, may it be automatic feeding system, may it be automatic environmental control system to drop the temperature of the shed. So all these things were, I was working for 4.5 years with those experience only. Then in 2015, I started in south of India, and then recently I've taken in Orissa and Kolkata.
Interesting. You're expanding your business slowly.
Because of the connections what I have made. Otherwise, I wouldn't have, taken that a chance or
Yeah.
guts to start those business, at least in Northeast.
Yeah. In business, there's always ups and downs. When things might not go as you desire, who's always by your side?
See, the most important people who was there always and who is always there and who will always be beside me is my family. I cannot, as I told you, initially when I started my business, my sister used to, pay my EMIs for my car. Now my brother used to send money to pay my employee salaries. And they have been my backbone. They have been my strength always. My mom has always been my strength. And whatever I am doing today, is just to it is just for her, nobody else. And then of course in 2014 I got married again. As I told you, in 2014 it took me from 2010 to 2014, or till 2014 I was struggling. So when I got married, and when I first met her in 2013, end of 2013, I was nothing. All I said is, see, don't think that I'm a big businessman, or I have some something in my bank. I have nothing but loans, but definitely I'll assure you that I'll have all those things which you have dreamt, or which you want to. And the first thing what my wife told is, let's do it together. You're not alone with in this journey. We're gonna do that together. And this is something which I like. And of course, after getting married, she has been a great strength for me. Now, in all my business, she's a very integral part in all my business, all the setups what we have done. In fact, this OBG Farms, Our Balcony Garden, and LOL Studio, these two firm is completely run by her. She's a person, who has to give given credit to. the success of this two companies. So she has been a great support for me, and of course my friends. You know, friends are of course they are like stress busters again. No, you cannot forget them. No, they are the people who were there for you when you had nothing, and they are always there for you when you have everything as well. So friends and families, not to forget my families and friends, they are the people who were always there for me to support right from my initial days. I'll never forget them. I'll always be grateful to them.
What does the future hold for Prajwal Shetty?
Future, see, I have planned to, people say at 40 you need to resign or retire. At 45 you need to retire. At 50 you need to retire. I'll never retire, I guess, in my life, because if I retire, or if in this pandemic time also I have seen, if you don't have any work, your mind doesn't, and if you keep your mind very idle, it goes somewhere else. So I think there is nothing called retirement in life. Of course, I might not take bigger challenges, bigger risk in my life after 40s. And there are a lot of things in my mind to do, to give to the society, because there are a lot of things which I have got from people, the love and affection and all this. So I have planned myself in after 40 or 45, I need to give back to the society of people, whatever best possible way I can.
Thank you so much, Prajwal, for talking to me. This was a very educational session. I've learned a lot from this conversation.
Hey, thanks so much. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much for inviting. And it's my pleasure to be here this morning.